Hello, friends, and welcome back to Get Your Play Online. If this is your first time ever being here, thank you so much for coming, and I welcome you. If you've been here before, I'm so excited that you decided to come on back. I hope that you've put on your comfiest PJs, grabbed a blanket, maybe a stuffed friend, and you're ready to settle down for some bed by reading Who Loves the Fall. This is by Bob Raczka, and it's illustrated by Judy Stead. So if you notice anything about my book, I have these little tabs down here because when we go through the book, there's some words that at the end of the book I'm going to flip to because it tells us some fun fall facts. It has some different definitions, which means that it's just going to give us a little bit more information on what some of these words are that the book is using. So in this book, we are going to uncover different activities or things that other children might like to do right now when the leaves are changing. It's starting to become a little cooler out. There may be some different events that you and your family do. So let's first start off by kind of just looking at the cover. Do any of you notice anything about this cover? So what I first noticed about this cover is all the different leaves and the different colors. Something that's really cool about these leaves is that they're different shapes. That means that they come from different trees. So let's get right into the book. Who Loves the Fall? By Bob Raczka, illustrated by Judy Stead. What do you notice here? It looks like there's a child that's hiding behind a pumpkin. If you saw any pumpkins this year, were they this big or were they maybe smaller? I don't think I saw a pumpkin that was this big, but I did see some smaller ones. So we're going to start off the book. Who loves the fall? There's some illustrations here, some pictures that are pretty fun. It looks like up in the tree there might be an animal. Can you see what animal this is up here? It looks like it's a gray squirrel. And the squirrel in the tree, it looks there's like some acorns or some nuts. That's what squirrels eat, and that means they're getting ready for the winter when they need to store up all the food so they're not hungry. It looks like there's a little girl down here, and maybe she's asking the question, who loves the fall? So now we're going to get into different activities or things that you can do in the fall. Rakers, leapers. So it looks like this child is using what we call a rake to kind of collect all the leaves that have fallen from the tree. And maybe they're putting it in a big pile. Over here, it says leapers. It looks like these children are actually jumping into the pile of leaves. Have you ever jumped into a pile of leaves? I have, and I used to love doing that. I like how when you stomp on them with your feet, they kind of crunch. That was always my favorite thing to do walking to school or walking to the grocery store or something. If there's leaves on the ground, I tried to find the crunchiest leaf. Corn crop reapers. So if you can see, this is our first tag. That means we need to look in the back of the book to see what this reapers word means. But before we do that, is there anything that you notice on these two pages that you're familiar with? For me, what I'm familiar with is it looks like it's a scarecrow. Sometimes farmers put these out in the field to kind of scare away the birds so they don't eat their crops or whatever they're growing in the field. So this picture looks like they're growing some corn. Over here, this is called a combine. And we have a barn and a silo, a little farmhouse, and then of course the scarecrow. So the word we're looking up is reapers. So I'm going to go to the back of the book and we're going to read what it says. To reap means to cut down or harvest a crop, especially tall crops like corn and wheat. In the old days, farmers reaped by hand with curved blades called sickles. Today, they drive big machines with many blades called combines. So this is the combine right here. This is harvesting the crop, which is corn. Growers, pickers, taffy lickers. So growers, it says orchards right here. It looks like he's at an apple orchard. And it looks like these people are picking the apples. Have you ever gone and picked some apples? I have. I think it's pretty fun. Sometimes if you're at an apple orchard, they have apple donuts, they have apple cider, all different fun things to do. This says taffy lickers. It looks like maybe they're having a caramel apple or something of the same sort. It says fall festival up here. It looks like some pumpkins. Quilters, choppers, helicopters. So over here, it looks like a quilt is being made. That means that a, a needle and thread are being used to put through the fabric to put different designs or to close the fabric together. Looks like this person is chopping wood. I don't really know if any of you would have chopped wood, but maybe you have. It's actually, it takes a lot of strength to do to use, this is called an axe, to take the axe all the way above your head and then it's called splitting the wood. I haven't been able to do it because it's a little heavy for me to do. Helicopters. So if you know what a helicopter is, it's kind of like an airplane, but it has blades that spin around the top. And an airplane obviously doesn't have that. But does this look like that kind of helicopter? What do you think? No, it doesn't look like that kind of helicopter to me. So let's see if maybe there's something in the back of the book that we can look at. It says, a maple tree produces seeds that blow free from its branches in the fall. The seeds are shaped like propeller blades. This allows them to spin like helicopters away from the tree, where they have a better chance of growing into new trees. So that's what they're talking about with this. We'll flip back to the page. It's kind of hard to see, but over here we have the leaves, and this right here, that's the helicopter that comes from the tree. It's the seed that is able to move through the wind so that it gets put into the ground and into the soil and the water, and hopefully a new tree will grow. Winged migrators, hibernators. So if we look at this page right here, it looks like we have two children, maybe a dog, and up here you have some birds. So these could be ducks, these could be geese, but it says winged migrators. And again, we have a little tab. So let's see what a migrator is. It says to migrate means to move from one place to another. In the fall, many types of birds migrate from the north to the south where the winters are warmer. When geese migrate, they fly in large V formations and take turns being the leader. So this book is, they want these to be geese, and they're going from where it's starting to get a little cold into a different place that's warmer. So sometimes if you're outside, you'll see geese flying in this V formation, and you can also hear them. They have a really loud noise, and that you can know to look up and to see the geese overhead. The next one is hibernators. What do you think this animal is? It's brown, it's sleeping. I think it's a bear. I think this bear is getting ready for winter. So let's see what a hibernator is. To hibernate means to sleep through cold weather. It's how animals like bears survive winter when food is scarce. Scarce means that when there's maybe not as much food as normal, or there's just not a lot of food. In the fall, animals store up fat in their bodies by eating more. Then they find a den to sleep in and live off the fat until spring. So this bear is getting ready to hibernate. Hooters, howlers, loud meowers. So over here, do you know what animal makes the noise of a hoot? It's an owl. Yeah, you're right. And the howlers, this looks like it maybe is a dog that's howling up at the moon. Loud meowers, what kind of animal makes a meow noise? A cat. You're right. So it looks like there's some black cats over here, and then this red line that's coming out of this cat's mouth, it actually says meow. Bonfire builders, pie crust fillers. A bonfire is when you put pieces of wood and then you light them on fire so it's warm, and sometimes you can roast marshmallows or hot dogs. I've had friends that they're able to make little pieces of pizza, grilled cheese, but you make the food over the fire instead of putting it in an oven, on a stove, or a microwave, which you might be used to. So it looks like these people are making some s'mores. They have some marshmallows, and it looks like they're getting cozy by the bonfire. This says pie crust fillers, and it looks like maybe they're making an apple pie. Those look like apples to me. So they're rolling out the dough, getting that ready, and then they're going to make their pie. Even former caterpillars. So here are some butterflies. And if you didn't notice, I just took off our last tab. Let's see what they have to say about these butterflies. It says, a monarch butterfly starts life as an egg on a milkweed plant. It hatches into a caterpillar, which eats the milkweed leaves. Then it hangs from a twig and transforms into a pupa in a cocoon. 2 weeks later, it emerges as a butterfly. In the late summer to early fall, the monarch migrates south. Do you remember what migrate means? We were talking about this with the geese or ducks. Right, migrate means that they're moving from a cold area to a warm area. So again, this are the butterflies. These are the butterflies. Adders and spellers. So it looks like this child is adding 3 plus 4. Do you know what that is? That's 7, right? So it looks like they're adding 3 plus 4, just doing some different math problems up here. Looks like this child is at the school spelling bee. Show and tellers. What do you think this child is doing show and tell? What did they bring? Looks like they brought a lot of turtles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turtles to show and tell. Passers, punters. So it looks like these children are throwing. Do you know what kind of ball that is? A football. What kind of ball is this? Do you know? A soccer ball. Pumpkin hunters. I think this is the child that was on the cover of the book. Trickers, treaters. If your family celebrates Halloween, that's what this is talking about. Looks like they have on different costumes. Turkey eaters. Don't you love the fall? What are some things that maybe your family does in the fall? Do you do some of these things or do you do something different? I think that I do quite a few of these. The other day, I didn't carve a pumpkin, but I painted a pumpkin. So there's just different fall activities that you can do. And those are our facts that we had flipped to earlier. I really enjoyed this book because I think that it's fun to learn and see what other people might do during a specific season, specifically fall, because that's where we are right now. Thank you again so much for joining in tonight. I hope that you sleep tight and you get a good night's sleep. Have a good night. Bye, guys.